Welcome to the Vibrant Living Network. Have you ever wondered what is possible beyond possible? What is the thing you've been wondering and inquiring about? Are you just feeling stuck and don't know why? Are you thinking or are you seeing? Seeing allows us to expand and have this other experience. We want to invite you for that wake-up call. We want to invite your spirit, your soul, so to be more alive, more connected. Glenn Brooks has been a life coach for over 33 years, author of Divorced to Patterns, Not Each Other, an explorer of what is possible. He has worked with people all around the world. Join us for a wake-up conversation, a dialogue with you. We will have some of the most interesting contributors. We will be talking to some of the most interesting people and have some of the most resourceful teachers, wisdom-filled people from around the world join us. Share your voice, ask the questions, become free of the known into a new world of possibility. We are going to talk about all the things you wonder about: how to live, how to heal, how to connect, how to love, how to be seen. Your life is precious. Enjoy it.
Hello, I'm Glenn Brooks. It's good being with you today. And I want to invite you to allow yourself to see right now, seeing. I didn't really know what seeing was, but I had a sense that early on, I had kind of an experience where I was walking in the eclipse. I was on the way to a movie theater with a friend of mine, indoor movie theater, and there was an eclipse. I was about 13. And they said something, if you're in an eclipse and you see, you could potentially hurt your retina. I never thought of it. I realized health is the sense of being carefree, right? You're carefree. Your mind is sort of flowing and easy. And then seeing is this beautiful experience. It's very different than looking. I want you to, so there's looking and there's seeing. So anyway, I was in the eclipse, and somehow I doubted my eyesight. I thought maybe I hurt my retina. And I didn't, but it's that the shadow of doubt was there. And I went to an eye doctor, and he looked at my eyes, and I realized that in my life that I had this, when I would meet people, I could see something about them that was different than looking. And it sort of informed me, it informed my senses in a very strong way. And so about 25 years ago, I got very interested in this field of seeing. What is seeing? How do we see? How do we allow seeing? And what do I mean by that? The idea is that seeing is a sensing of what's around us, and in some sense, seeing is something where we allow something to come to us. I had the honor of meeting Meir Schneider about 25 years ago. He's got a school for self-healing in San Francisco. He's written several books sharing his experience of his own experience of blindness, physical blindness, and then discovering from inside out another way of accessing his own seeingness. He's someone I consider Meir to be a beyond the formula person. He didn't take a formula. You know, when you learn things about, the whole thing about healing is really, it's a relational thing. It's a relational thing about people and what you allow yourself to see. Because illness, when you're in illness, we look at things in a certain way, and usually the systems, the conventional systems around us reinforce that. They give it names. They give it a certain tight fix. So when I met Meir, I realized he was living from the inside out in a way that represented me beautiful mastery, heart, soul, and he assisted people from around the world. He's on the way to do a documentary in Israel about his wonderful work, not just about seeing, but accessing the brain so we can unlock our systems and allow ourselves to see in a different way. This program today is the beginning of an ongoing year-long program, and what I like to call the Seeing Dojo, how to see and allow life to, and your brain to inform you, open you, touch you. And when I say today we have with us Lisa LaRose, producer, lifelong beloved friend, family member. We got Ariel Bonberg, our undercover agent, producer of New York, and helps you with things like Instagram. Ariel, welcome. Welcome, Lisa. And welcome, Meir.
Hi, nice to talk to you, and thank you for having me on your show again with the new format that you have. And I just want to say a few things about what you said, if it's okay.
Please.
Okay. So first of all, you know that most people don't know, but when you look at any object, actually your retina, your lens, your cornea sees it upside down. What makes it right side up is your brain, right?
You're amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they gave a group of pilots glasses with which they would see everything upside down. And within 2 days, they saw through those glasses everything right side up. And so 2 weeks later, they took the glasses off, and some of them got nervous breakdown because for the first day, they saw everything upside down without those glasses. So what happens is the brain is what basically sees. The eye is a vehicle to transfer light to the brain. And I'll give you the best proof, and this is myself, but I'm actually not the best proof. I have even better proof than me lately. But in myself, if you took a look at my picture, and everybody is willing to look at our website, which is www.self-healing.org, and find my pictures there, you could see that 99% of my lens is scar tissue, 99%. 1% lets light go through. I used to have 1% vision, now I have 70. Today I read, write, and drive. And I used to, my parents, by the way, were deaf. So I was a blind kid to deaf parents, and my parents, and especially my grandmother, were admonished for allowing me to go in the street without a cane or seeing eye dog. And I had 19 accidents, basically crossing the street. And I found myself sometimes in the emergency room with poor drivers that didn't understand why a blind dog crosses the street not seeing that's a red light. Well, anyway, what I wanted to tell you is that my motivation. I also used to ride bicycles into holes and into stairs and into all kinds of holes on the road, potholes. But one thing what I want to say is that physically, anyone who looks at my eye says that I have little space to which I could see. And I used to be the quickest Braille reader in Israel. Now I drive. So what I want to say is that the plasticity of the brain is amazing, that it gets minimum and does maximum out of it.
I want to comment. What makes you you're such an inspired spirit, and there's a certain courageousness in your boldness. And in some sense, you're blind. You cross the street. You ride a bicycle. Tell me about your spirit. Like, give people a sense of what was going on.
When I was a kid, I was rebellious because as a blind kid, you're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. Many kids have ostracized me and all that. So I grew up rebellious, basically. That's my original education. Also, my parents were deaf, and they traveled Europe being deaf, even though the deaf language is different from country to country and from language to language. But they still traveled Europe, came to the United States. So they had that spirit of functioning while being deaf. And I wanted to make a change. And while I'm still partially handicapped, there's 30% of my vision is still missing, right? But so much less than I used to be and so much freer than I used to be. And that's what came as a result of the difficult childhood I have. But I want to talk about something else is even more important. The plasticity of the brain is amazing, and I've written a whole book for this, which is called Awakening Your Power of Self-Healing. Awakening Your Power of Self-Healing. That book teaches you to use your brain through your body and to get your brain to get you in a whole new place where all the plasticity of the body and all the different systems of the body can work better. So we work a lot on finding more room in our body to breathe and getting the brain to allow you to take deeper breaths. to get more circulation by loosening our joints, to get more balance in the body to prevent spine problems, to learn about how all joints could be balanced. You know, we made a statement that some people never think about the joints, and some people don't think about anything else. And so we want to prevent somebody from not thinking about the joints and mobilizing them when we have 70 million people here with arthritis in this country. And then the next part is on the muscles, to learn to isolate muscle groups. And we had a very nice chapter on massage, and this is another point I want to tell you. I had once a lady, I really loved her. She was a Zen priest, and she had her 2 breasts removed. And she came to me devastated after the surgeries. And the thing I taught her was self-massage. And after the second session, I taught her self-massage. She smiled, and she said to me, "Meir, you teach me again how to love myself." She was then 50. She died at the age of 85. So she gained a lot of years of life loving herself again. So when we teach massage, we again teach how to connect more to the body. And then, of course, we teach about the nervous system and how it develops. So what I want to say is that I'm very inspired to teach the world, and this book has 600 exercises in it, you know, to teach the world in a nice, simple way to move differently, to move out of illnesses, to move out of diseases, and to wake up the body for more life. So that's what I'm doing, and I hope that more and more people will have my book, Awakening. I'm going to send you one, and if you want me to send you a few to contribute to your audience, I will. And
Done. Yeah, yes.
We also will send you $25, although we're a non-profit and we're struggling. We will send you $25 to support your show, but I'll be more than glad to send you 5 books to contribute to your audience. How about that?
Yes, thank you, Meir. So I want to say to people, if you're touched by this we want to do this as a year-long dojo. We want to see these exercises, and we want to be able to have you practice in a group and see Meir on Zoom. If you're interested in being part of our special inside group with Meir for this year-long, I could call it a dojo. Dojo to me is a sacred place or space where we have an inside team where you can let down your system and be vulnerable and real with each other and practice these wondrous exercises. If you're interested, give me a call at 413-345-3747, 413-345-3747, and write down your vibrant vision for your eyes, for your body, your relationships. And join me and Meir on a weekly basis as we give you this one-of-a-kind program. Not just talk about it, but live it and breathe it together. Lisa, you were going to say something. I heard your wonderful voice.
Yeah. First of all, Meir, you know, it's such an honor. I touched in with your work with Glenn, actually, about 18 years ago, and I have sent more people to your website, recommended your books. You're such an inspiration in what's possible, you know, so I just want to say, you know, thank you for all the work that you do. And, you know, I look at the pictures of you on your website with your new book, and you look just as vibrant as you did 18 years ago. And I did, but I'm guessing that you looked.
Thank you, Lisa. You know, I just bathed in the San Francisco Ocean, and everybody looks at me as a weird fellow, and I really am, but it's not as cold as the Boston Harbor. And nobody else bathes there except me. And I enjoy it. I'm already 64, going on 65, and in pretty good shape.
Awesome.
I just want to say that it's just a wonderful thing to work with people and show what's possible. But I want to talk about the most important thing. I had to pass. I had to really climb the Everest when it comes into my eyes. You know, I didn't ever climb the Everest, but when it comes into my eyes, I had to work real hard. But one of the reasons I've written "Awakening Your Power of Self-Healing," and you know, you can easily get it in Amazon. One of the reasons I've written it is that I want people to know what's available and possible for them, and in a real responsible way. For example, if somebody has bad joint disease, I really warn them not to try and move vigorously at once. but I suggest for them all kinds of exercises in warm water. If somebody has muscular atrophy, I tell them, don't try quickly to overcome it. When people try to quickly overcome a problem they have, is out of hysteria, in that they don't believe they can actually overcome it, so they try so hard, and then they don't really succeed. What I suggest for people in terms of improvement is step by step, and always, always like the small progress that they made. And if you allow yourself to make small progress at a time, a huge difference happened to you in your life throughout the weeks, months, and years. And that's the most important thing for me to tell you, that belief in the process of connecting between your brain and your body can make a huge difference in your life. The moment that you start to understand the power that your body has, and the moment that you can start and see how much you can influence your body to the better, your life changes completely.
That's beautiful.
I want to acknowledge, it is very beautiful. Go ahead, Meir.
Yeah. In that whatever other people limited you from being able to do, whatever you limited yourself until now, you can overcome that. And that's why I believe that most people who sit on the wheelchair could be out of the wheelchair. And most people who are legally blind could actually be more sighted. And most people who wear glasses could end up not wearing them. I really think we need a world revolution without flag and country, just to see that we can do much more than most people think we can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
Meir, I wanted to ask you, so when people come to your center, could you just sort of outline what that experience is like? I know people come for all different reasons. For back one of the primary one that people.
People
I'd like
come
to hear
to
that
me from
also.
everywhere in the world, and by the way, I travel everywhere in the world, so to speak. I travel to the Orient, travel to South America, travel to Europe, travel to the Middle East, so far only to Israel because of different reasons. But I want to say that there's two ways that they come to me. One, in a group. For example, this February, from the 14th to the 19th, we have a 6-day eye class. And what people do, they combine the class with individual sessions. So I help them individually, and I have other practitioners that help them individually to apply whatever we teach in the class to their specific needs. But then we still have a group together, a good group consciousness and awareness together, where we work together on getting ahead of where we are. The last class I taught in Tel Aviv on October for 6 days, and 90% of the people out of the 48 that I was teaching ended up seeing better to different degrees. And I'm going to teach one right now in San Francisco. But what I want to say is that people come to me for different reasons. I'm having somebody traveling to me right now from Asia, from Malaysia, for hypermetropia and myopia. I had somebody who came to me from New Zealand with a problem of dyslexia, of not being able to understand what she reads, and she ended up understanding much better when we finished. So what they come is they learn exercises. We do with them body work. Some of them who are crazy enough, like me, go and bathe in the ocean. Then we also get them into a nice hot tub. We have a trampoline. And we do a lot of work to let go of whatever we held. So it's a very warm environment. It's a very family-like environment. We got a permit by the city of San Francisco, which was very unusual, to have a house by the ocean and to have it like a home atmosphere, professional but very much home-like, professional but warm. I don't know who taught people that to be professional, you have to be cold and removed. We're not cold, we're not removed, we're very close to our clients, and at the same time with the right boundaries, people really love it because they feel very safe and very protected.
I just want to say that this beautiful, very beautiful. Wow. First of all, that was beautiful. Stay with us for Vibrant Living, the Vibrant Living Network. Meir Schneider is with us. And we're going to be doing a year-long class, something you could breathe into, allow yourself to see, and discover a new world. So join us for that. I'll give information for Lisa LaRose and Ariel Bonberg. Stay with us. Your life's precious. Enjoy it.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Hello, I'm Sandy Sedgbeer, host of OMTimes Magazine's flagship radio show, What is Going On? My passion is sifting through information, research, and innovations from new thought teachers, speakers, and researchers pushing back the boundaries of what we know about life, energy, metaphysics, and the universe. I love shifting perceptions about who we are, why we're here, and how quickly impossible becomes normal when we open our minds, expand our awareness, and accept that the only limits that exist are those we place upon ourselves. So if you're the kind of forward-thinking, eager investigator of what lies beyond the current reality that most perceive, why not make a date to come play with me in the field of possibilities at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time every Thursday, and together we can discover what's really going on.
Hi, this is recording artist and composer Yuval Ran, inviting you to a voyage through the chakras, a new double album of guided meditations to transform your life, a sublime musical medicine for nourishing inner peace and reaching to your higher virtues. Get it now at metamindfulnessmusic.com, METTA mindfulnessmusic.com.
In the wake of a disaster, what one thing can you send that will help people the most? A blanket, a tent, a sandbag, a doctor. Actually, if you send a monetary donation, you send all these things. Even a small donation can make a big impact and can quickly become exactly what people affected by disaster need most.
In the wake of a hurricane, your monetary donation can make a huge difference to those in need. To donate, visit supporthurricanerelief.org. That's supporthurricanerelief.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hello, I'm Glenn Brooks. You're listening to the Vibrant Living Network, along with Meir Schneider. We're talking about Lisa LaRose, Ariel Bonberg. I want to thank, by the way, Sherry, our Vibrant Living in Florida. Vibrant Living Florida. She's building our wonderful Vibrant Living team in Florida, and all the other people that are doing just wonderful stuff, wonderful contributions. It's really a relational brain we have. I love what Meir was saying a moment ago about the environment. The environment that when we do it as an example of Vibrant Speaking Weekend, it's really about your whole body and new seeing. And one of the things that I notice that people bring, they bring certain obstacles. And one of the biggest obstacles that's sort of in our society now is rushing, hurrying, and overworking. So in my approach to things, I really encourage people to step back and see again, and to kind of notice where this overdrive, this overstrain. So I love this notion of warmth. This program over the next year with Meir will open up a new doorway through our interaction and through the trust that we have as we practice these exercises that inform our brain and our nervous system. I'd love you to be part of it. We do it on a monthly donation, and you'll be an inside group dedicated to a new level of seeing, embracing, and allowing the healing that's already in you to come into your life. Because oftentimes we're moving at a rate that's not in tune with healing. We're moving in the horizontal, and healing's in the vertical. So I'll give you my email address as well. Yes.
Can I continue my answer to Lisa? I want to tell her something amazing that happened. So, Lisa, you know, there was a lady in Portugal. I will never forget it. At first, I was talking to her and her daughter and gave her some advice on the phone, and I thought I'll never see them because they didn't really have much money. They couldn't really travel. They couldn't really afford my sessions. And then they were so enthused from the results that they came all the way from Portugal. She lost 95% of her optic nerve. She had cataract surgeries, which were very unsuccessful. Normally, they are successful. And she suffered from what's called high myopia, 19 diopters at first. So she came to me about 6 years ago, and after we worked, she was able to cross the street in Lisbon, Portugal. And then she invited me to teach a few workshops there. The last one was for legally blind people, and one lady who couldn't see for 12 years from retinitis pigmentosa, where the retina gets destroyed. One of my Brazilian assistants, who is a great practitioner of my work, was able to get her to in the sun to see material and to start and look at details. And her personal doctor wanted to understand and get from us a letter. How did she end up seeing? Because he saw that she's not seeing, and all of a sudden she's seeing. A friend of hers who saw something saw a couple more lines on the chart, and her doctor said, "It's a good day for you." And she said, "I earned it. I worked hard for it." So anyway, that same lady came to me in September of this year, and she spent 3 weeks with me, working with me 4 hours a day. And the thing that I learned that helped her the most is to take her to the nicest spot in San Francisco. It's called Land's End, that watches Marin County through the ocean. Now, that lady had 1% vision when we started. And she couldn't see big signs because she had only 5% of her optic nerves. And as she looked at the ocean, she was so happy to see it. And she all of a sudden started to see the waves. And then she started to see rocks. And then she was able to see smaller signs. And we finished with her seeing 5% vision. And now she doesn't only cross the street, she is seeing through less fog. And she really misses that time of 4 hours a day of body work. I also put her in the hot tub and massaged her shoulders, some trampoline work, the walk on the beach, seeing big letters. But the main thing is to look at that ocean and slowly see more of it. And that's exactly what I do in a bigger way. When I look at the Golden Gate Bridge from distance, first I don't see the cars moving in it. But then I look at the distance more and more, and I look at the beauty of the ocean and beauty of everything around, and the muscles in the eyes relax, the brain starts to absorb things, and all of a sudden I see all those cars on the bridge from a distance of a few miles. And for me, it's an experience that one cannot explain. It's such a big sense of pleasure. The exact vision that you take for granted, the one that I earn, the vision that wonderful lady from Portugal named Aurora have earned, is nothing that I can explain in words.
I want to thank. By the way, what I've been doing, Meir, is incredible. I've been using 2 trampolines. I have a trampoline in my living room and a trampoline in my bedroom. And so I want to just mention the trampoline, because a lot of people don't realize that the trampoline informs your eyes. It impacts your peripheral vision. So when you go to the eye doctor, a lot of times they're focusing on this sort of linear thing, right? That use your vision this or that. And the trampoline allows you, right? So tell people, give people a trampoline now. And I do want to mention Bamboo Restaurant, Bamboo in Florence, Massachusetts. The food is really wonderful. It's an Asian restaurant. They're willing to custom design your food, gluten-free, MSG-free. They invited me to come by for Thanksgiving. I want to thank the people at it was fun hanging out with you guys at Bamboo Restaurant in Florence, Massachusetts, where they custom design your meals and make sure that the things you don't want aren't in your plate. They're very warm. You mentioned warmth. In illness, there's 2 types of illness. Most people suffer from cold illnesses. It's cold, the computer, the rushing. So you talked about warmth. Soul warmth is one of the most significant things that brings couples and people and families and people to another experience. So I love how you emphasize the warmth. We'll have it in our group. We'll have you share a vision of what you want from our group in self-healing, or relational and self-healing. So I want to encourage you guys to be on our year-long course.
Absolutely. After Aurora was massaged in a dark room, and after she was massaged inside the hot tub, and after she went with me to the beach, looking at that ocean being able to look again and love after losing so much of her vision, so much of her optic nerve. And let me tell you, her ophthalmologist, after she visited me 6 years ago, he said that her optic nerve did not have circulation, and after visiting me, he said, now it starts to have circulation. So the fact that she activated the little that she had, caused her to, first of all, live a bit more normal life, or it's much for her. She can cross the street, see big signs, which she couldn't see before, looks through less fog. And I'm not claiming, that she all of a sudden sees normally, because that did not happen. But she started to love seeing. You see, the point is, just like the lady that had the cancer operation, that her breasts were removed, she started to like her body. So many people don't like themselves. And it's so important in many ways, in corporal ways, to start and teach people to like life and like their body. And that's what happens to me when I bathe in the ocean. I love the sun, I love the wind, I love life, and it doesn't really matter that I'm today 64 and maybe I look differently when I was 30. It's just so nice to be in the body I'm in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Do you recall when you were do you feel that you always had that sense of appreciation for the ness and the connection with the earth? And
there's a moment or two when I don't, but 99% of the time I do. And the only thing I don't like in my life is that I need to be on airplanes a lot. I love being there. I don't like traveling.
Can relate, actually, Abby.
Right.
I mean, it's not the beach, so.
It's not the beach.
Yeah. But that too is a gift, because it sure beats driving or taking a boat.
Yeah, but I will sit on at 9:00 on January 9th in an airplane going to Israel. It's about 13 hours there and 15 hours back. And I tell you, I love being in Israel. I love teaching there, and I love how well I'm being received there. I also like to sleep and listen to all kinds of wonderful audios during the flight, but I definitely prefer to swim in Tel Aviv's sea than to sit in that airplane. I can tell you for sure.
That was a plug for Tel Aviv's airport right there, Meir. You should get some kind of acknowledgement, a financial reward. You just acknowledged the Tel Aviv. That was a travel spot.
The cowards,
yes.
The cowards in Israel only swim July through August in the sea. But me and a bunch of warm-blooded or cold-blooded Ukrainians and Russian Jews are swimming in the winter, when it is so cold that the sea is only 70 degrees,
Wow. By the way, the cowards from Israel are coming on next week. Lisa invited them on to a full rebuttal.
For sure.
So, but what I'm saying, it's interesting. I always get used to all weathers. I loved Canada in the winter. I love Israel in the summer. There is no weather that I don't like, basically. I like the desert, and I like the Arctic. Whatever it is, I like it. And I sustain it. And I always find ways to sustain any weather. And the secret is one. It's called circulation. The better circulation you have, the more everything goes well. And loosening your hip joints and your shoulder joints and your neck and are the key for having better circulation. If you don't have loose hips, you don't have loose shoulders, the blood will never flow well.
It's an interesting thing, because most people think about eye concerns. They think about eye concerns at the level of the problem. They don't see it as a whole body thing. And then circulation in Chinese medicine, in many systems, they talk about stagnation. So you're speaking about opening up the whole system. And the work I do with people, I do a lot of relational exercise. So I have them gaze together, I have them move and breathe together. And we just came up with, the imagery that came to me was the symbol of the phoenix, the relational phoenix, that couples move and circulate when they're conscious of the mutual circulation that exists. So this is very different than going to the eye doctor.
Let's talk about eye concern. 90% of blindness these days is because of poor blood flow to the eyes.
90%.
I mean, everybody says, take a look at the problems. Wet macular degeneration, where there's bleeding in the macula. Why? Because you don't get enough circulation to the retina. So then the retina builds capillaries to give you more circulation, and they're not perfect, so they bleed. So it's basically hemorrhage, and the hemorrhage destroys the cells. So what do? They destroy those capillaries. But guess what? It's like oil before the storm. You destroy some capillaries, and the other ones will come. So while on the immediate basis, it's a good thing to do so you will not become blind, and I recommend people to do that. But you don't want to do it forever. You want to get more blood flowing there. And that's one example. I have all the examples in the world. For example, people think wrongfully that glaucoma is only high eye pressure that leads to death of the optic nerve. That is not true. That's true partially. And that pressure can be reduced with more blood flow to the eye in the first place. But to continue with that, glaucoma is also lack of blood flow to the optic nerve that destroys the optic nerve. And so I think that to a great extent the brain, the eyes, the ears, they all need more blood flow. And the secret is loose neck, loose scalp, and before that, loose middle back and loose shoulders. You want to strengthen them and you want to loosen them. I remember one lady came to me with cataract, and I helped her to stop her cataract from expanding, and she had such a tight neck, and I said, you need to have strong arms so we can actually loosen up the neck. So she strengthened her arms, but then we loosen up the neck, and she started to feel much, much better. So what I want to tell you is we really have to think about the whole body as a whole. You cannot improve your eyes without deep breathing. You cannot improve the muscular system without improving the nervous system, and it's vice versa. So I think that the whole body is one thing, and that's why Awakening Your Power of Self-Healing with 600 exercises. I expect people to do 5 a day, not all 600, but it's like a book for life.
Thank goodness.
It can really help you evolve through life.
So, Meir, of those 600 exercises, would you share a few of your favorite?
Stay with us, Meir. Take that wonderful inquiry. I want you guys to shake your hands and see what's around you. Let what's around you come to you. We'll have Ariel speak up, too. He's been gagged and tied up. We're going to have him speak. He's our undercover agent, Ariel Bonberg, Vibrant Living Team, New York. Stay with us for more exercises so you can free up and energize and circulate your optic nerve.
Feed your soul with waves of consciousness on OMTimes Radio.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free, ascendinghearts.com.
More than 24 million Americans have an autoimmune disorder, and that number continues to grow. I'm Sharon Saylor, and I'm one of those 24 million. To put that number in perspective, cancer affects about 9 million and heart disease up to 22 million. That's why I've brought together top experts and those thriving regardless of their diagnosis to bring you the latest, most up-to-date information. Join me, Sharon Saylor, Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, for the Autoimmune Hour on Life Interrupted Radio to find out how to live your life uninterrupted.
Hi, this is New Age Grammy winner Paul Avgerinos. Thanks for listening to OMTimes Radio, and please support my peaceful healing music with a purchase at iTunes, Amazon, or wherever you shop for fine music. Just put my name into the search engine, Paul Avgerinos. A, V like Victor, G like George, E-R-I-N-O-S. You can also visit me at roundskymusic.com. Thanks for listening, and I'm wishing you the brightest of blessings.
Melissa from Michigan. I work an extra part-time job serving lunch at my child's school, but I still can't afford to put food on our table.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Each moment we become more, first of all, welcome to the Vibrant Living Network. Meir Schneider, Lisa LaRose. Ariel had to go do something vibrant. He's our producer in New York, very valuable team member. And again, I want to thank Sherry for her absolute devotion to bringing the Vibrant Living Network to Florida and all the people around the country that are building on. If you're interested in being part of the Vibrant Living Network, you want to own an uncontested market share and deliver one-of-a-kind wisdom and resources for people, give me a call today. I'd love to speak to you. 413-345-3747. 345-3747. And we're looking for an immediate logo designer for our relational Phoenix design. So if you're a logo designer, 413-345-3747. Exercises. What happens to most of us, we lose the exercises. Sounds like something you don't want to do. What Meir is talking about is a very pleasant movement that opens and unlocks your system. And Lisa asked, what are the 4 or 6 exercises? Beautiful what you were sharing, but a lot of people are overwhelmed. They go to the gym, they get more stressed. Give us some exercises. I would love to pick up on Lisa asked you, Meir, which is what exercises, if people could begin to engage, because we want people to join us for the next year, to see, to breathe, and to develop a whole new level of vitalness. What are some exercises you want to leave today for the listeners?
Wonderful question. And let me tell you what exercise most people do without knowing it. They look from near and they strain their eyes.
I'm sorry. They look. Say it again. Say it again, Meir. I missed it. What do they do?
Most people look from near. For example, at the computer, at the book, but mainly at smartphones. They look from near. That's a bad exercise because the muscles of the lens, the ciliary muscles, constrict. The lens becomes round and very stiff. That's the beginning of the destruction of the lens, called cataract. And all that doctors do with that, they remove the lens. They used to give you thick glasses, then they gave you contact lenses, now they give you implant as of the late 70s. And what happens is you could do something else altogether to help your eyes. For example, 4 times a day, look at the distance. And it sounds like a short time, but it's very long for most modern people. You look at a distance for 4 minutes, you wave your hands to the side so you remember the wrist periphery, and you don't do it out of the window. You go out and do it. So I understand that when you are in Massachusetts, it's now cold, unlike San Francisco, which is really nice and warm. But you can still step out with very warm clothes and look at the beauty of nature or the beauty of your city and the sky, and look at the distance all you can. And once you look at the distance, your eyes start to rest, the ciliary muscles of the lens start to relax, and the suspensory ligament stretches the lens. But let me tell you more than that. The neck relaxes because the neck is connected to the eyes reflexively, and the nucha ligament holds the head. It's like in a good moment, you could put a plate on your head and it would not fall. It is so relaxed, none of the neck muscles contract, because whenever we look, we normally look down and we tense the neck unknowingly. So that's one real good exercise to do. Another one is that when you sit, you can put one hand over one eye, let's say over the right eye. You wave your hand very quickly, the other hand, you wave the fingers, open and close them when the other eye is open, and to the other side. And then you do exactly the same thing. You put your hand over the left eye and wiggle the fingers without looking at them through the right eye. You open both eyes, and then it's easier for you to look at a computer. Because most people who look at a computer forget that there is a floor, that there are walls, and there is a ceiling. And what happens is they don't use their periphery. And for too many years, we did. So to talk to you about the back, for example, the biggest enemy that your back has is the chair you sit on.
Yeah.
The hours that we spend on the chair really affect adversely our spine muscles. So, because we're not built to sit for too long. I mean, we have muscles that connect between the transverse process of one vertebrae to the spinal process of the other vertebrae called the paraspinalis. And we have the transverse abdominis muscles, and they hold us straight for about half an hour. But after half an hour, you start to borrow muscles that are just helpers, synergists, and they start to tighten. The other abdominal muscles tighten, the neck muscles tighten, the back muscles, the trapezius, the rhomboids. So what we need to do is every 20 minutes before the back tires, stand up and look up at the ceiling and walk a little bit. And if you can, grab a chair and grab your leg and pull it backwards so you do the opposite effect of sitting. You're doing opposite than sitting with both legs separate, and then you sit down. And, you know, if you do it every 20 minutes for about 20 seconds, 10 seconds a leg, and if you can't lift the legs, so just look up at the ceiling as you walk, you will find yourself with much less back pain. And every 2 hours, you have no business sitting in front of a desk. You have to walk for 5 or 10 minutes. So that's, for example, exercise I tell people. When you stretch your back backwards, see how deeper your chest is breathing, your abdomen is breathing. You can massage them. So I'm giving you an example of exercises that come to do the opposite of the constraint that life imposes on us. And whenever you look at a computer, don't stop blinking gently. That's a good exercise. Don't forget your eyes, and always breathe slowly and deeply in and out through your nose.
Beautiful.
So I'll give you a few examples, Lisa.
Yes, no, it's very, very good. Very, in the mechanics of life, the oblivious, we become oblivious to. You know, it's kind of like Deepak Chopra used to say this to me all the time. He used to say, Glenn, we grow old and die. You can see others grow old and die. So we get stiff because the culture. I mean, I was just the other day, I was at the supermarket, and I realized like a lot of young people were in wheelchairs and walkers, and just if you watch people walk, it's quite an education. So how many people did I see that have this wave of mute? You know, every time we walk or move, it's a wave, and it's an unconstructed wave that goes through the body, through our nervous system. But somehow, due to mechanistic medicine, we tend to part things out, like up the car. We have our eyes, we have our nose, we go to specialists. But this idea that it's this beautiful movement, and then same thing with you know, our relationships. We tend to think we got to be empowered, and really it's about relational power. It's about being in a system of power and awareness together. So the languaging of things matters, because we get distracted, and by the time we call it a disease, it seems overwhelming. When you share this story of people coming and warmth, what do you find in language and environment? Share something else about that, Meir, how you, and our course together. Go ahead.
Let me give you a good example about Aurora that basically is in line with whatever you said, Glenn.
Yes.
Aurora, the lady who came to me from Portugal, she saw better, and she was so happy. First of all, she was so happy to see the ocean in the most beautiful spot of San Francisco. She even sometimes could see the other side, which is Marin County. And she could even see the lighthouse, which was amazing in terms of her vision. We're talking about somebody very, very low vision decided to see much better. But the satisfaction that I had, the love that I had for her, the love that she came with a daughter, that she and her daughter had for me, was something I cannot describe. It's both personal and transcendental. There is some intimacy on it, which is wonderful. Professionalism at the same time. It's like you cross all boundaries and you don't cross any boundary. You know, it's like but the same way you can love a flower. You know, how do people feel in my place? We joke all the time. we feel free. There's nobody who feels uptight in my place. And that makes my place so different than probably any other place in the world, basically.
Wonderful.
I think Lisa wears a T-shirt that says, "Please don't be uptight around me," which I find very helpful.
Well, and I'm so eager to read your book, and I know that you have a link and you have some wonderful wisdom on your website. For those of anybody who's just tuning in, it's www.self-healing.org, and I'm so eager to read your book, Meir. I'm just very, very excited.
Wonderful, and you'll get it. Yeah, wonderful. I'm so happy to be a contributor to this wonderful show. Both of you are wonderful people, and you do real good things in the world. No question.
Now, I told someone who's listening I wouldn't mention them, anything about them, and I kept the promise, didn't I? I kept the not to mention promise. You're listening to the Vibrant Living Network. I want to read you guys something, because we're talking about learning and movement and about systems. You know, when we go to see someone, and this is significant, the paradigm, the frame of reference they hold is in the environment. I want to read you this. It's one of my favorite books. She says, she's the homeroom teacher for this individual. She says, his mere presence is a disruption to learning. His movement is a disturbance to other people. I suspect he is mentally retarded. His brain and his body function in a normal way. It's highly recommended he be removed from this classroom. And this is in the book In the Mind's Eye by Thomas West. If you want to read something to open up your thinking. And, of course, she was talking about Albert Einstein. What's happened is when we start to diagnose things and we focus on the disconnection, separation, it causes a silent and deep anxiety in people. Warmth, or soul warmth, as Rudolf Steiner talks about, is one of the healing modalities. That's why in the Waldorf school, children don't even use a computer till they're 11. The purpose of that is that we need to connect to this world. A lot of illness is disembodiment. It's like, why be here when I'm feeling a sense of flow, ease, and comfort and pleasure? What's the point? To be a robot? This course will be doing Meir, this ongoing inside dojo on self-healing and relational healing. I want you to be a part of. Meir will post something on his website. But it's the experience. You know what I love, Meir, and I think Lisa brings it out, the best out of you. I feel that you share this warmth as a way of life, and it's a way of life. When you talk about being in the ocean, it's not that you're bearing down and, you know, forcing yourself to be in there. I really get you embrace the water, the cold water, the way that ignites life in you, and that our nervous system and our eye system is a way of life. That's just it. We don't got to fix it or treat it. It's a way of life that allows more circulation and wonder, and that's what I love about this. It's not something you could just read. It's a way of being and igniting that being that's in a group. I want to welcome you guys to our group, to be a part of it. My email, by the way, for the group is Glenn, Glenn, Glenn.vibrantliving, all one word, at gmail.com. You know, you're one of my favorite people, Meir. I love where you come from.
Thank you. So, Glenn, to just talk about me bathing in the ocean, that most people don't do, I agree with many people who say that the body has hidden inflammation many times. And I'm not talking about going to the snow and being naked in the snow for who knows how long, but I'm saying going to the ocean where it's basically moderate cold. It wasn't like, you know, how much cold. It was 55 degrees, you know. So going to the ocean, bathing there for about 5 minutes, it takes away the inflammation that exists in the body. And, of course, I didn't just do it. I ran for 4 miles before doing it. And it felt wonderful. And I already felt good, but it made me feel even better. And there were times when I didn't feel good, but bathing in the ocean cleared my mind. So what I want to say is that everybody has his way. Not everybody is the same. Some people need more heat. Some people need more cold. But we really need to find out where our body is and what is the right remedy for it and how we should exercise it. So the big thing we should know is that the body must be soft and mobile. Soft, strong, and mobile. And that is what my book teaches you to do and to be. I mean, to be within your body and to really contribute to it as much as possible.
I want to thank you today, Meir, and I'm very inspired about our healing, inner healing awakening dojo, and I want to invite all our new friends and community members of Vibrant Living to be a part of it. And did you want to sing to the audience as an outro today, Lisa? Because I don't want to get in the way of that either, if you wanted to sing to the audience.
Now, you know what, I'll join Meir in some laughter. How about that instead? That'll be my song. Laughter will be my song today. Yeah, I really, truly love that. I'm looking forward to someday soon visiting your center. It sounds like an amazing place to be.
You will be an honored guest, believe me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Meir. Thank you, Lisa. Thank everybody.
For sure. Thank you.
Your life's precious. Enjoy it. VibrantLivingNetwork.com. Vibrant Living Network. As we go to 10 hours and build our Vibrant Living Network, beyond the interview, the way of life, the way of the vibrant life. Appreciate you guys deeply. Enjoy. Thank you, Lisa and Meir and Chris.
Thank you.
My best.